Hello, hi, my name is Ty, and Gen V Season 2 just wrapped up a couple days ago, and I've been incredibly hyped for it. Last year, I watched The Boys for the first time and loved it, and after I finished it, I watched Gen V and loved the characters and the mystery the show had, and I was incredibly happy to know a Season 2 was on the way. So, was it worth the wait? Let's talk about it. But first, let's talk about the insanely unfortunate passing of Chance Perdomo. Andre was one of my favorite characters in season 1, and I was so sad to find out that he passed between seasons. But I will say the way they wrote around that with how they treat Andre's death is better than how a lot of shows would treat a situation like this. I love seeing how the season 1 characters react to Andre's death because it genuinely does feel real in the way college kids would react to that type of situation. But let's talk about the good this season had to offer. I'm actually really glad we got to see what the world is like under Homelander's regime after The Boys season 4. It's depressing and I love it. And I also like the start of the season, how our main characters just give Kate shit the entire time. And she got what she deserved. So it was very gratifying to watch. Let's talk about our characters, shall we? I think the standout easily this season was Emma. I think that she easily carried this season's comedy. Lizzie Broadway's performance in the season is genuinely so good. Her comedic timing and line delivery is just perfect.
As for Papamoose, bitch. We're not going to a foreign country. We're going to Canada.
Not to say anyone else's performance is bad though. Far from it. Jazz Sinclair and London Thor are still incredible as these characters. And Derek Liu really stepped up his acting game. Because in season 1 his performance was good, but him and London didn't really feel like the same character. But here, they feel one and the same. I don't want to talk about every individual actor's performance for the sake of time. I want this to be a relatively quick video, so let me rapid fire through the things that worked for me real quick. I liked watching Marie's powers develop this season. It builds off the last season's ending really well, from a girl developing how to sense people's blood to a girl that can bring someone back to life, which I have my gripes with, but we'll talk about it later. I like that Sam actually got more development this season, and the scenes where he goes back to his parents' house were honestly something I didn't think I'd be interested in, but ended up being one of my favorite parts of the show. And I didn't put this in the script because I forgot, but I do like watching Jordan's inner turmoil about dating Marie and how eventually their relationship always ends up in the same place. I actually did like that, and it was interesting to watch. Not one for relationship subplots, but I think that as far as this goes, it was pretty good. Now let's talk about the things that just didn't really work for me. And as a person who usually just watches one thing and then goes off the opinion I had when I watched it for the first time, having to make videos on stuff like this, meaning I have to watch the show or movie or whatever twice, made me realize that doing what I was doing before just isn't a good way to make a video on it. And on rewatch, I like this season less than I did the first time I watched it. And I'm dead ass mad about it too, because I've been waiting so long for this, but as every episode went by, I liked it less and less. And it was so disappointing. But what didn't work for me? And what's my view on the show now that it's finished? Let's start off with the things that just grind my gears a lot. And I want to start that off by talking about Emma. And yes, although I loved Emma this season, I think that she had like a little too much going on. I mean, look at her subplots going on, okay? She acts as Polarity's TA, which doesn't last very long, but whatever, that's fine. And she joins a group of secret Starlighters, and, I actually thought that was going to be, like, her main plot of leading a group of Starlighters as a resistance. And then they shove in a subplot about her learning to control her powers, which, honestly, the payoff for it just didn't really do it for me. But it all just kind of ends, which is just disappointing. Like, she just grows gigantic in the finale, but she just does it on a whim. We don't know how she did it. Her powers, like, from how her powers work, we don't get to see what she does to grow big. Like, it just kind of happens. And then they throw in a random love triangle with Greg and Sam, and honestly, it's not engaging to me at all. Her being back with Sam would just be unbelievable from a character standpoint. And Greg is just a dude who flies, and he's not interesting at all. Hell, a lot of people thought that he was going to be a twist villain because of how nice he was, but he was just a dude. Like, we didn't get to see him do shit, and I'm not really rooting for their relationship because there's nothing between these two. I don't know why they threw this in. It's like they were throwing around all these ideas for an Emma subplot and thought one of these just wasn't enough. Let's just give her all of them. But it just makes it harder to stick the landing for her character, and it just fell on its face. Next, let's talk about Marie. Although I liked her developing her powers and her being a soup on the same level of Homelander, in terms of what this brings to the story, it kind of just drained the tensions out of scenes with her in it. Whenever she's fighting by herself, I'm not scared of her dying because she has blood powers. She could probably just, bring herself back to life. I mean, she's like a biokinetic now. I don't feel any tension in fight scenes. And when she's fighting with her friends, I super don't feel anything because she brought someone back to life. Why wouldn't she be able to do that again? I thought they were setting us up for heartbreak with Marie and Jordan, with Jordan dying in some way, but the only thing that happens is them breaking up in the final episode. And even that honestly didn't feel like it was a real breakup because Jordan and Marie don't even have the time to have a full conversation about it because it's the final episode. And they just kind of seem like they're on good terms in the final scene of the show. So it didn't feel like anything. But yeah, they tried to set up a potential Marie death with Annabeth getting a... Oh yeah, Annabeth is in this season, by the way. She's fine. I don't really have anything to say about her. I think her character is just fine. So Annabeth is a soup, which I guess is like the only twist I didn't see coming this season. But anyways, Annabeth gets visions of Marie dying, but I've never took it seriously because she's, like I said, basically a biokinetic. So why would I be scared of her dying? And then lastly, my biggest complaint with this season is definitely Dean Cypher. Okay, at first I was down with him being our main villain. The dude right from the jump is a fucking asshole, and I love that. And no one knows anything about the guy. He was a complete mystery, and it was so fun trying to figure out what his deal and angle was. And he also was pretty funny from time to time, which honestly just made me really like him as a villain more. But I digress. Anyways, he works so well for me until episode 4, where they give us all the clues at once to the fact that he's most likely just Thomas Godolkin. If they spread out all of the clues to piece together who he is, the twist would have worked better. But if you give us all the clues in one episode, 2 perfectly good working brain cells can figure out, oh yeah, he's just Thomas Godolkin. So the twist where we find out he is Godolkin isn't satisfying because it's so obvious. And it wouldn't have been that way if they just spread out those clues. And it also just makes our main characters look dumb as shit for not piecing that together. I mean, Marie literally senses his blood, sees there's no V in it, and she also knows he can control other people as his power. What is not clicking to you? And even when Godolkin is healed, I am not even remotely threatened by him because A, his ass is brought back in the last episode, so we totally know he's gonna die. And B, he's played by Ethan Slater, who I am not threatened by in the slightest. I mean, look at him. He played SpongeBob, for God's sake. And his plan just doesn't really make sense to me. Like, wanting to kill soups whose powers are weak and useless, I can see that. However, the way he goes about doing this is like kind of dumb. I thought he was going to be on some Junko and Nishima type timing and have them kill each other to be able to leave the room or something, but he just takes control of them. And I feel like that's like a dumb way to do that. Like, you're supposed to be seeing how well they can use their powers to defend themselves or just the general scape of how useful or how powerful their powers are. But in the end, like, having them just kill each other by your hand doesn't really do that. So, like, you're culling the herd, but the herd is you're just culling everyone. And then lastly, the final scene from season 2. That being, everyone leaves Godolkin and they go on the run, and Starlight finds them and talks about some I can't believe Sage planted this evidence type shit. And it kind of just felt like corny Marvel post-credit scene because Starlight just shows up, which I knew someone was going to show up by the end of the season. I thought it was going to be a villain. I was not expecting it to be Starlight because we only saw her before at the beginning. I didn't know if we were going to see her again. But she asked them to join the Resistance, and then we get to see A-Train again. And that's cool, but I just don't think that this ending was too great, I'll be honest. And I feel like when the Boys universe starts to feel like Marvel, that's where they should take a step back and be like, oh, we're doing something wrong. Because The Boys was meant to parody how industries use superheroes. And that's what I liked about it. So the minute that I think the writing starts to be treated like an actual Marvel movie, it just doesn't work. But I think that's everything I have to say. Please don't take me for a Gen V hater. I still enjoyed my time with this season, and I love the Boys universe, but honestly, I have so many gripes with this season that I just can't ignore. So I think for the critical score, I'm gonna have to give Gen V Season 2 a 5.5 out of 10. Very unfortunate that I have to rank it this low, but there's just so much I can't ignore. But on the fun score, I'll give it a 7.5. Still a fun watch all around, but some parts do drag their feet a little bit. Now, to answer my question from the beginning of the video, was Gen V Season 2 worth the wait? Honestly, I don't know. I feel like it did need a little more time in the oven. I feel like there was just so much that wasn't completely done, or it could have used some more time in the oven. It just didn't. It felt a little rushed towards the end. So I think that overall, I don't know. I think that in some ways it's worth the wait, but in others it just kind of doesn't deliver. And that does it for the main video, but I do have something I'd like to talk about. So if you may or may not know, I started on Twitch, and I do like Twitch streaming, but I prefer YouTube, and I actually like doing YouTube more, believe it or not. But sometimes I'm gonna need like background footage for when I'm just talking and I don't like have much of a point, or if I'm talking about a video game and I need footage for that. So I will be getting footage by streaming, basically. So I'll usually post to the community tab of what day and time I'm streaming. There's gonna be a lot of that, so look out for that. But yeah, I don't have like a set schedule. I'm not gonna stream like every day or every couple days. It's just whenever I need footage for something, I will send a post to the community tab, and you can come vibe if you want to. And with that said, thank you for coming, thank you for staying, thank you for watching the video, and be kind to others unless they're racist. Those guys deserve to be put in an Iron Maiden. All right, bye.